rise above message to meaning. Because when we have meaning to the customer, that's when we become the one out of the 3,000 that's going to get listened to, or one of those 5 that's going to get purchased this year. And so to me, the question is, how do you put meaning into your marketing and into your message? So one way that's worked for my clients and for me is to, as I say, take your customer on a magical hero's journey. What do I mean by that? I mean, take yourself out of the center, and Dan talked about this. It's not about you, it's about them in brand terms. I'll say in story terms, make your solution the magic that the hero gets to complete his hero's journey. So let me talk a little bit about the hero's journey. Anyone familiar with Joseph Campbell, the hero with 1,000 faces? Okay, not too many, so that's good. You'll learn a new book if you're not. So Joseph Campbell in 1949 was a cultural anthropologist. He's an American. He wrote a book called A Hero with 1,000 Faces. And he basically said all of our classic mythology follows the same story. I've already told you that story. The hero gets pulled out of their reality. They get sucked into the depths of despair. They usually meet the god or the goddess, and they're bestowed some magical power, and they return to transform their world. If they're really lucky, they only have to do it once. Most end up having to do it 2 or 3 times. Odysseus, Jesus, Buddha, Watership Down, all follow this story. Every Disney movie in 1959, one of the Disney execs said, hey, I read this book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. All of our stories should follow this. Sound like Star Wars? Sure does, right? And my favorite, Emmett. How can you not love Emmett? Emmett goes on the classic hero's journey. Now, Campbell's framework is 12 steps, which is way too many for me. All right, it's way too many to put into any kind of use. And so I simplified this down to 4 steps. Public company. They were a client of mine. They were about a $3 million business. We came in and said, look, the threat landscape has changed. You're in IT security. Malware's changed, and if you use what you're used to using, firewalls and IPS and all this other technology, you're in a world of hurt. You're going to be breached, you're going to have loss, etc. That's the all pain, no gain. Oh, by the way, we have this new thing, and it gets you to a better place. But really focused on talking about the threat and how that threat impacts the lack of capability of their current solutions to work. They took this from about $5 million to about $300 million in revenue, this positioning. They went public, they peaked at $7 billion, and after that, it's not such a pretty story, but it had nothing to do with the positioning. They are still, though, today, if you take a framework and you walk through it and you implement something like this, you can add context to your content, your customer's context, connect to it, and you can add meaning to your message. And I think when you do that, you start your journey to market leadership. And so my wish out of this presentation is that you guys all have safe passage and success on yours, your companies, and your clients' heroes' journeys. And with that, thank you.